I'll give you 10 pieces of candy if you still remember my name. That's my way of saying, yes, I've been gone forever. I realize this. But if you saw my Twitter, I did recently make a confession that I have been battling some mental health issues. So I went to see a therapist. I was taking the right steps. Well, the bitch scammed me. The end of the session comes. Maybe I shouldn't do this outside. Bugs. The end of the session comes, and she says, okay, that'll be $140. I take cash or check. We asked her for the price actually before, and she's like, oh, I won't know the price until I get your insurance. But somehow you have this perfect figure of $140? Let's see, liar, liar, plants for hire. But this reminds me that, I hate all doctors. I do. I hate them. Imagine little Lauren, 7 years old, living in the state of Pennsylvania. I had a urinary tract infection that was causing me some stomach pain and obviously pee pain and whatever, I don't exactly remember how it hurt, but I go to the doctor's with my dad, and the doctor says, are you experiencing any pain in your abdomen? And I thought my abdomen meant my butt. I was 7, I didn't know. I just remember looking at a bug picture and seeing abdomen, and I was like, oh, bugs have I think bug butts are their abdomen, so that must be my butt. And so I said, no. But I guess when my dad had called before, she said she was having abdominal pain, but nobody clued me in on the freaking doctor vocab. So the doctor gets so pissed at 7-year-old Lauren, and he tells my dad she has to leave right now and never bring her back to this clinic again. Excuse me, can you make your schedule around my schedule? I'm filming a vlog. Thank you, plane. Lauren is age 14. I have extreme allergies, nosebleeds all the time. Sometimes I vomit. Am I healthy? Probably not. I go and I get these allergy injections. They drew a grid on my arm, they injected me with 1,000,000 allergens, and by the swelling, they judged what I'm allergic to. So then, every week after that, I would get bugs. I would get shots of what I was allergic to in hopes that my immune system would get used to it and my allergies would get better. They have, so that's one good thing. Score 1 for the doctors. Except, one day they upped my dose to double instead of a small incremental change because they're like, oh, she's doing great, we'll just go ahead and up it. We can't win this battle. We just can't win this battle. I live by an airport, what do I expect? They inject me. I go to school the next day. I feel hot, flushed. I've got a whole swollen arm. They injected me here, and from here to here it was one giant, I looked like a sausage link, just swollen sausage link, so nasty, boiled sausage. So it was gross. So I'm in school, oh God, somebody help me, I'm so itchy and my arm is so hot and I feel so feverish. So they go to the doctor, and I say, hey, I think I had an allergic reaction to my shot that I just got yesterday in this location. That's why the surrounding area is swollen. And they said, no, that's impossible. That can't happen. You probably have Lyme's disease. So they decide to take my blood and do a test for Lyme's disease. This girl stabs the crap out of my arm trying to find my veins. You can see, maybe you can't, but I've got a lot of veins. It should be pretty easy in my opinion. So she's stabbing me and it kills, and I almost passed out because when I was in health class, I learned that blood is real and how much blood we have in our bodies. And we're just juice sacks, you guys. It's pretty disgusting. So I don't like thinking about blood. So she stabs me with that thing, takes my blood, and I watch it squirt into the vial. I can't talk about that. The next day, bruising. This whole, not just a little localized bruise, this whole arm is bruised. And when the test came back, guess what it was? No Lyme's disease. They never admitted to what they did to me. Okay, so you may remember how I was crying 2 years ago because I thought I had to get my wisdom teeth out. My mouth was all swollen. And so he said, oh, the reason you're having all this pain is just because of your TMJ. Don't worry. You're fine. And I said, no, look at my mouth. It was there was actually a whole, an abscess back here that I saw with my own dental tools that I found. And so I thought, okay, obviously some kind of infection occurred for whatever reason. I need some medicine. He doesn't notice it. And so he's like, all right, well, you just had the TMJ, get a night guard, and I'll give you some mouthwash. And I'm like, yo, there's a giant hole back here that's mad infected. You want to look at that? And he's like, what? And so then he goes back there and just starts stabbing the crap out of that abscess. And I was crying. It hurt mad. And then he's like, oh yeah, I guess that is a problem. That brings us to something that may not offends, but maybe might make some people nervous. It's about women's health, gynecologists. If you get weirded out by words like sexual intercourse, vagina, cervix, uterus, number 1, grow up. Unless you're an actual child, then I'm sorry, You'll be old one day. If not, like, just don't let this make you like feel weird. I'm not gonna be explicit. I just have to use those words because like medical stuff. I tried to take some birth control. Oh, another word I'll be using is birth control. Does this freak you out? Like, don't let it freak you out. It's really okay. Women do these things. So I tried to take all these birth controls, but they made me crazy and fat, and it was just like so wretched. So I researched the IUD, which is that T-shaped piece of plastic that they insert into your uterus, and it can stay there for like 10 years. 10 years of sterility. Like, what a gift. I go to this first doctor to try and get the IUD, and she says, no, you never had a baby. Like, I don't really want to give you this. Here's some hormonal birth control. And I said, hey, but wait, like, I can't do that. I've tried like 3 different kinds. It makes me so ill. And she's like, no, just try this. You'll be okay. Basically, the worst. I was just insane. I won't even go into details because there's more kind of personal details, but it was just so bad. And so I was like, screw doctors. I didn't go to another gynecologist for like 2 years because I was so terrified. Because she didn't even listen to me. She didn't even care. So I go to this other gynecologist my mom recommends. I walk into the office, and there are like stains on all the carpets. It was the dingiest, most dirtiest of gross places. They finally come in to get me, and the doctor says, do you mind? I have 2 students that I would like to come in and watch your exam. And I'm like, I don't want this to happen, but like, I don't know what to do because it's for science, for learning, for education. I'll be like a specimen. And I was like, okay, just all right. You mean you didn't notify me anytime before? You're throwing this at me 1 minute before, and these 2 little like med students are like, we want to see her downstairs. And it was weird, right? So we go into the room, and the guy like smells weird. He's like this old creep, and I totally hate going to male gynecologists. Like, it's terrifying. We go into the exam room, and the doctor's like, oh, I have to step out because his cell phone rings. So he goes to take this call, and he steps out of the room. So the 2 students are in here. There's this like Asian girl and this white guy. So the Asian girl immediately pulls out her cell phone, and the white guy, I'm already like on the fucking table. Like, I'm already on the table, and the doctor goes out of the room. So the student turns into the corner, and like no cell phone out or anything. He just like stares into the corner of the room, like he's just in the corner. So the doctor comes back in, and he starts explaining my anatomy and like things about the downstairs, and I'm like feeling really mad awkward because the Asian girl's looking at my downstairs mix-up like while texting. I'm like, are you writing a story about this? Like, are you taking pictures? Like, please, I mean, like, don't do that. But the white guy in the corner, the doctor's like, oh, check this out. Like, he named some anatomy, and then the guy like looks like this, and then just like looks right back, and he just like stares in the corner. I'm like, am I offending you? Is this like, do you want to be a gynecologist? Like, why are you here? So that was the most awkward thing. And I went there to get an IUD again, and he says, oh, I forgot to order that IUD, so actually we can't do this today. Why am I here? Like, why am I here? So I just had to leave. I had to go. I went to go get the IUD again. Like, guys, I want to be sterile. Like, I want to be so sterile. I really do not want to have children. Like, I need this peace of mind. So this is where I'm going to use the word sexual intercourse. Don't freak out. So I called the doctor, and they told me no sexual intercourse 1 week prior to the IUD insertion. Okay, easy. I should say no unprotected, okay? So I'm like, all right, fine, no big deal, like, I can handle that. So I go in, and they asked me when the last time I wiggled wieners was, and I told them had been like 2 weeks before or something like that. And the doctor's like, oh no, like, you were supposed to wait 3 weeks. We can't do this. We can't do this now. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but you told me on the phone 1 week. She's like, no, that's completely incorrect. Actually, we had 3 women come through here today trying to get IUDs that couldn't because they've been told misinformation on the phones. So now I have to wait 3 weeks to get this thing inserted. If I had to get pregnant within that time, I swear to God. One of you, I'm going to sell my baby to one of you guys. Is that okay? Like, will you raise it? Can somebody raise it? Like, just show of hands. Show of hands, I said. Nobody wants my freaking child. Not even me. Like, come on. This is the longest vlog of my century, and I think that it's deserved to you guys because I've been, like, absent for so long. So I'm not making any promises because this mind doesn't make me any promises, so hopefully I'll be able to be back and talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching.